So I want to thank everyone for joining me. Please let me know if you can hear me well. You give me a thumbs up. And my name is Rania. I'm here from Grype Digital here in Ottawa. We are here to talk today about member portals. And I'd love to hear from you to start off where you're at with your member portal journey at your association. I'd love to sort of cater the material here for you. Maybe you have member portal, maybe your engagement is low, maybe you're curious to try something, maybe you have a custom one, maybe you want to switch. So if you'd love to share in the chat, I'd love to hear from you. My coworker Nikki here, she's going to support me. She can read out anything there. I'd love to know where you're at. And I saw some of your questions that you submitted beforehand, and we'll get to those, I'm sure. If they aren't addressed by the material, please stay after. We can speak to you one-on-one. If you have to leave early, no problem at all. You can always book a call with us at any time. We offer free 50-minute little snippets of advice. You're welcome to check in. We love to support your work with associations. So I see something in the chat here. Nikki, you want to read it out? Anybody want to share what they're up to with their portal?
I was welcoming everyone.
Oh, okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so if nobody has any comments yet, let's get started. Okay, so today, what we're going to learn today is how a member portal can become a valuable member of your team, right? The portal's not supposed to be the static entity that's just there to have, but it's really there to become like a useful team player and to automate so much work that you didn't even know was possible to automate. That'll free up your team's time and also this term delight your members, really impress them and inspire them and offer all your member benefits there. So this is a really useful, we really want to show you the tech and how it can be used to support your work and show your members the value of membership. That we want to define your next goal for your member portal. That was why I was starting with asking exactly where you're at, because with technology, there's costs involved, there's a time commitment, and we really always advise all of our clients to build in phases. So wherever phase you're at, we want to sort of help you here build onto your next phase of development. And as you keep growing, you keep impressing your members. So it's a good strategy to have. And we also want to drive member engagement and member retention, because members who are engaged are much more likely to stick around. And at the end of the session, we are a tech company. We'll sort of talk to you about the tech that we recommend. And we also have something to get you guys started. We really want you to walk away not feeling like overwhelmed or sort of like that this session is behind you. We really want to give you something in your hand like you can sort of like take actionable steps on. So stay tuned for that. And if you have to leave early, no problem. Give us a nod in the chat and we'll follow up with you. Let's get going. Okay, people are showing up here. Okay, report card time. Let's start. Thank you to everyone who's showing up here. We're very happy to have you here. We're going to talk about your member portal. Please feel free to mention in the chat where you're at with your portal, and let's just dive right in. You're just joining us at the right time. So to get things started, let's ask everybody, how happy are you with your member engagement? On a scale of 1 to 10, you're welcome to share a number, share a thought. You're welcome to come on mic and speak with us. But how happy are you? Do you feel you could improve? Is there lots of room for improvement? Do you have specific questions we can help you on? We'd love to hear what you have to say. Anybody feel bold enough to share? No? Okay, we'll just get that thought in your mind. Maybe you want it to be getting a little better. Maybe you want to see more attendance to your events. Maybe you want to see your articles read more, or your benefits used more, or your member forum used more activity on your social media. All these goals are good goals to have. Now, let's take it into the future. A year from now, what do you want your association to look like? What do you want engagement to look like? And let's ask the question, how much of a difference could your association make if your retention rate increased by 20%? If you had those extra dollars, if you had those extra members, if you had extra volunteers, what would that look like? And where would that engagement take place? What does that engagement look like, right? Do you want that on your portal? Do you want people connecting through the portal, making committees, volunteer opportunities, a place for a resource library, events, a registration? Do you want all that hosted on your portal? Are you ready for that sort of change? Any questions, anybody? Okay. Let's ask some questions here to set the mood. Let's see where we're at. What percentage of your members? Okay, sorry about that. So so we have a new client now, a very prominent client, and they came to us sort of with their tail between their legs. They said our member retention rate, they said they didn't even want to tell us. They were like, it's less than half less than half, or like 40%, that people are coming, and they come because they are an accrediting body and people come for the accreditation, but then it's such a bit of a hodgepodge. It's a really hard place to be in their portal. They don't really have one. It's not clear how to use member benefits. And yes, they have new members because it's an international body, but they're losing so many they can't really scale. So it's important to have a place where you can offer benefits and keep your retention rates up. Okay, how much time does your staff spend on multiple software platforms and performing tasks that can be automating? Okay, so when we think of a member portal, yes, it's called member portal because it's front and center for members as a wonderful place for them to like connect with members and engage with benefits and sort of like add that cachet, that value to their membership, that it's a place for them. But really what this does is it's really, really win-win because it automates, it's a place where you can automate so many of your emails and your reminders and your events and your donations. It really becomes a one-stop place, and it becomes a great way for your team to stay organized, stay on top of things, and reminders to each other. And it saves a lot of time. We have clients who tell us that they save the equivalent of one person's salary every year. And if you're paying someone $50,000 or more, that's really, really a huge savings. And not to say we're trying to put anybody out of a job, but that's time that could be better spent, reinvesting in your members, connecting with them, creating better benefits or improved or newer benefits, newer events, and to work in advocacy. Most of the associations we work with have like an advocacy area where they work on. So it's just time better spent. Okay, so a little bit about us. You could be anywhere right now. You chose to join us, and we're very, very flattered. We are Grype Digital. We work with associations to build member portals for them. We sort of leave the small jobs, the easy jobs, the website edits to other people, but we really want to get in with your membership and grow your association, work with engagement with you. We sort of work a lot. We look at it as marketing to members, marketing to your engaged segment, rather than looking out there to find other people. We can help you with that as well. These are some of our clients. We love working with associations because we love supporting the good work that you do. And we sort of, every client that we work with, we start with a workshop where we go through with you exactly who your audience is, what your goals are, where your revenue is from, what are sort of your essential offerings that you offer, but that lose you money, which are the ones that gain you money. And we will not proceed with the client unless we can clearly demonstrate to you together with your data. Everything is data driven, that there's a clear path to return on investment through building a portal. If there isn't a return on investment, there's no point building anything. So let's get into the meat and potatoes here, what you're all here for. What are you going to put in your portal, and what do we need in a portal? So here are the common issues associations face. Let me know, give me a Hail Mary here if this is what you experience, that members are not fully engaged. They join, they have the best of intentions, but in terms of how you measure engagement, whether that's attending events, opening emails, coming to your AGM, engaging in your platform, they're not really engaging. And that you have all these member benefits, and they're amazing member benefits, and they're really, really offering great value, and those that use them love them, but many of your members are not using them. So why is that? Why aren't they connecting with your member benefits? And members aren't aware of your benefits. This is sort of like something that always surprises associations when we send our clients to go and do interviews with some of their members who are not engaged. They're always surprised to find that the members, when they tell the members about their membership, about the benefits, they're often like, I didn't know that was there. Where is that? How do I access that? So there seems to be a disconnect between the benefits that are available and the members finding them. We actually have some onboarding content, a webinar coming up. We can share the link in the chat, and also some articles about successfully onboarding your members, that they connect with your member benefits in a way that, brings up the trajectory of their engagement. Members that use their benefits will stay members. So that's very important. Now, the member experience could be improved. Okay, so it's difficult to find your services. This is what we talked about before, is that people who don't have a portal, or if you do, but it's a little bit clunky, it can be hard to navigate to find those services. Sometimes your association will use sort of like words that are sort of fun, or you've labeled them in a fun way or sort of high level way that makes it hard for people to sort of find them. Sometimes you don't have a portal and you're relying on links and newsletters and emails, and those links are, can be hard to find. And services are difficult to use. Sometimes they're very complicated. They're very involved. Some of our associations that we work with have very involved user benefits, and there's many, many steps to them. And we sort of help our clients break up those steps into manageable chunks, so it's not an overwhelming experience for the member to sort of go along for that user journey, as we call it. And then the other issue we find, which is sort of a really important issue now for this day and age, and also for our values, is web accessibility and inclusivity. So when we say web accessibility, it's true that we do mean reaching out to those people who, sort of at the ends of the spectrum of people who have a lot of needs. But with simple things like being conscious of text size and color contrast, with 10% of the male population being colorblind, you can have people just not even seeing where your CTA links are, where the buttons are. You could have people who just don't see well. Maybe there's a lot of text or it's small text. So half the population over 50 already has some vision issues. So keeping your there's some simple and ways that we have some content about this on our website as well. You can go check there. We have a wonderful podcast. We'll talk about this later in the podcast in this webinar. But this is something to think about is your portal really accessible to your overall membership? Is it useful for them? Is it set up for them to be successful using it? Okay, so to recap so far, the inefficiencies in our membership process is expensive, right? So we're pumping money and time into it. They're not connecting with it. They're not finding the resources. They're not seeing the value. And if they don't see the value, they're not going to renew. And that whole cycle is very expensive because it takes 10 times as much time and money to attract new members than to hold on to your existing ones. So the solution that we have found and what the data suggests is that having a member portal, right? And that word customize is there because you really want it to speak to your audience, to your membership and what their needs are, what they are looking for. You really want that user journey to cater to their level of tech awareness, of language awareness, where they are in their careers, where they are in life. So having this member portal where they can connect to member benefits and to you when they are in the mood for it, be that Sunday morning, be that 10 p.m., whenever that is. If you're sending a link for an event or a reminder, they're at work, they're with their kids, wherever they are, it's not a good time for them, and then it gets buried. So having this portal where they know they can go in and connect when they're ready and engage on their time, it's a very powerful place to drive engagement. So with this customized member portal, you're going to see the reduce of human touch going way down. All of your questions that you get, how do I do this? How do I change that? How do I update this? That's going to be heavily reduced by a clear member portal with options where they can have independence to make changes to their account or update their password or give a donation or attend an event. Having all of that automated on the site will save your team a lot of time. Then you're going to increase and improve the automation process. You're going to provide a more inclusive and user-friendly experience. So we can talk about our experience building this, and we'll show you, we have created a templated member portal that really, really speaks to this. Right now, there is no template solution on the market that meets WCAG accessibility standards. So we're sort of trying to educate our audience, association executives and membership managers about the importance of this and how it will help drive engagement. Any questions so far? I'd love to answer you. Nikki, anything in the chat? We're good? Okay, continuing on. Okay, so this is David Berman here. He's an author, designer, advocate, friend of Grype. We had him on the podcast and he was very impressed. We learned so much from him and him from us. We really learned that this word accessibility, as I said, isn't just for the outliers, but creating an environment where they can control the color contrast or the size, or have handouts that are really readable, or a registration process that is really, how many people have tried to register for an event or buy a gift online on a website and the web form's clunky and not working well and they can't save and the sign up's not working. So this experience is really frustrating. We really want to avoid what's called form abandonment in terms of your member registration and event registration, or maybe purchasing products, whether that's manuals or books or pamphlets that you sell. So I don't know whether your portal is set up to track if somebody has started a web form and then abandoned it. That's really important metrics to have to see if your web forms are friendly to the public or not. And we can talk about that more about that later. Okay, so here you are. You're taking this all in. This is you, and you get it. You're here because you understand the importance of a member portal and you want to give your members a wonderful member experience. but how much is this going to cost me? What's involved, and where should we begin, especially in that build in phases mentality? So we're here to walk you through what that process looks like and what you want to include on your member portal. Okay, so here at Grype Digital, we start with strategy. Everything starts with strategy. In our experience, we meet our executives, like our marketing managers, in our workshops, and they're just in full execution mode. They're sparking on all sides. Everybody wants everything from them. They're making decisions. They're moving quickly, and we sort of come in to remind them that it's okay to take a step back, to take 2 steps forward. And our process of meeting with you and sort of asking for the data and making no decisions without data creates a much more fruitful and lucrative and successful outcome in the end. So we work with you to really, what is it that you want to accomplish with your portal? How do you define success? How do you define engagement? Who is your audience? Are you trying to please everyone and being, not really meeting anyone's needs? Let's sort of talk about what is the goal here. And we really do recommend you build in phases. Anybody can put a $100,000 price tag on anything. And then what does that get you? Ultimately, we want to encourage you to build your priority money makers items first, and then build on that to continue to add value to your member portal and to your members. And it's sort of like when you climb a mountain, that the higher you get, your view changes. So if you build this huge, big, gorgeous, beautiful monster of a website, of a member portal, and then it sort of, I don't want to say sinks, but your members don't connect to it because there wasn't enough market research that went into building it, it's much harder to recover than if you launch, test, and then continue to launch and test. So that's our recommendation. And this is the big one here: talk to your members. It is so easy to do a survey, SurveyMonkey and everything else, and send emails. But the surveys only go so far, and they're sort of only really good at giving you a yes or no answer. They're very, very hard, not impossible to capture the nuances. So we really recommend talking to your members, obviously not talking to everyone, but if one member is experiencing it, it's very likely that many others are as well. So we recommend sort of dividing up, making a list. We do this with you with the webinars, sort of to give you the tools, standing on one foot. If you make a list of who your different types of users are on your site, and then interview 2 or 3 in each category, literally just book the time. I know it'll take time. You can sanitize your questions. We can give you a template of what questions to ask, and then go in and ask, open-ended question. What was your experience like? What did you like? What did you not like? What did you wish was there? What turned you off? What moments did you have when you were proud to be a member, when you wanted to stay a member? Where did we lose you? So regarding members who lapsed, members who stayed, veteran members, this is really important, really valuable information. There's no more valuable information than feedback from people who are using your product. Any questions, anybody? I'd love to hear from you. Anything in the chat, Nikki?
Nothing in the chat for now.
No questions? Great. You're all with me? I love it. Don't be shy. I'd love to hear from you. Okay. So here I'd like to talk to you about the website versus the member portal. You'd be surprised how many people come to us in the webinars and say, hold up, I have a website. I have my member benefits. It's there. They can log in. But we really want to encourage you that the website and the member portal should be 2 different entities. They're not the same thing. They can be connected, they can link back and forth, they can even have shared content. If you have directories, if you have resources, they can be available on both, obviously to a lesser extent, because you really want to provide value to your members. You really want it to be highlighted that there is added value to being a member, and that's on the portal, and you want them to continue to come back to the portal. That's where the value is, but there can be linking back and forth. But by splitting this up, you create a website that becomes your business card. It becomes your marketing machine to the world, to the public. You can really focus your messaging, your content, your text in the portal to your prospects, to your prospective board members, to your donors, and then all of your member-specific content and member messaging and member dialogue and member tone. All of that can be in the portal, and you'll see that a website that combines both is not just clunky, but the site map becomes huge and long and wide and deep. It becomes very hard for anyone to sort of find easily with a couple of clicks what they are looking for, because as associations, you have a very diverse audience, right? So you have your donors, you have your media, you have your government agencies, you have your partners, you have your members, of course, your prospects who you want to please. And it's sort of hard to market to your prospects while also giving what your members need at the same time. So having two separate sites is very important. And then it makes for, if you ever want to make updates to one or the other, it's a much cheaper and easier process because they're separate. If you have them together and you have to make changes to an entire huge site map, this sort of makes pivoting much easier. Any questions there? Okay, so this is sort of a recap here, that your website requires updates to follow marketing trends. You know, whenever there's new things going on, you can make quick updates to your website. Whereas your member portal, this is sort of your built to last, where you're going to keep all of your member benefits that don't change all the time, right? Whereas your messaging, your updates, your announcements, whatever you're up to, this might change. Your board members, your staff members, these things are changing. Here, you do not need to make changes on a regular basis unless you're adding member resources, which is of course valuable in your events and all that stuff. So I want to have a little look here to show you one of our big clients. This is one of our clients we're working very closely with over the past years, the Writers Union of Canada. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you now into their current website, which was a website portal combo in one site. And they were having a lot of challenges. They met with us for a workshop. I'll walk you through it. I'll just leave here my presentation and I'll take you quickly into their site. So 1 second here. Let me find it quickly, pardon me. Writers Union of Canada. So they've been working with us for a couple of years. They did a workshop a couple of years back and they did not have the money to do a build, a launch, anything. They had nothing approved by the board. They were sort of just wanting better marketing. They were getting one lead a week to become a member when they're like the Writers Union of Canada. There should be more traction. So they came to us and we said to them, you know, your website sort of reads like a dashboard. You have everything in there. It looks like the cupboards with all of your Tupperware and your food and your everything there. We need to clean this up. And we really encourage them that they create a clean user journey on the site, which we can go through together in a minute. But what they also had, and you'll notice here, is they had a member login on the site. And here, without a membership login, they had sort of a very detailed, well-populated navigation. And these navigation menus, as much as it's already busy, have drop-down menus, and their drop-downs have drop-downs. And when you log in as a member, it doesn't take you to another site. It brings you to it's the same site, but there's further drop-down menus. So the experience becomes sort of more overwhelming to the user because there's so much content. And the content wasn't necessarily clear how to find their most valuable content isn't in the forefront. So their supporters, it's great to know who their supporters are, but does it need to be right here? Or their awards, it's great that they issue awards, but if these awards are only once a year, does this need to be front and center? So these are sort of things that we're teasing out for them. Right now, we'll be launching their portal, and I'll show that to you next. In the next couple of weeks, we have a September 27th launch date. We're looking forward to that. So with them, this is sort of the issue with having the website member portal together, is that who are they speaking to? Are they speaking to their members? Are they speaking to their prospects? What's going on? So with the separation, they're going to have a much better experience. So now I'm going to take you over here to their portal. I'm going to log out so I can show you the login. But here they have a beautiful portal. We're going to log in. Let's log in as an admin. We have here admin login and member login. This is sort of in beta stages now, because they're right now just sort of populating and testing. This is not live as of yet. You're getting a sneak peek. So here we have this beautiful, beautiful portal. Here you have this admin bar. When you log in as a staff member, you wouldn't see this as a member. But here you'll see it's very clean navigation, homepage, events, resources. And here, what they do, which we recommend a lot of our clients do where it's appropriate, is have their membership area separate. This is sort of their relationship with the association. And here have a public profile. This is their relationship with other members. So here they can search for each other, they can find each other, they can connect with each other by certain characteristics as they define themselves. But here they can have their announcements, they can have their events, they can populate here 1, 5, 7, as many events as they want. And here they can have their announcements. And this site was completely set up to have, accessible fonts like dyslexia font. The color contrast meets web accessibility standards for color contrast. The font size is quite large. And it's very clear. The actions you want them to take is very, very clear. So this is going to make for a beautiful, beautiful experience. And here's that link back to their homepage if anybody wants, of their general website, if anybody wants to go there. So that's our little demo of that. If anybody has any questions, I'd be more than happy to speak to you about that. Any questions on separating your portal from your site? Anything in the chat, Nikki? No, we'll keep going. I'll pop back into my presentation here. Thanks everyone for coming along. Okay, so here, this is an example of another client. We had a client, the Children's International Summer Villages, USA. This was a very complicated project. We had them in the spring. They are summer camps that operate all over the world, like every single continent. They have chapter branches within each country. They have their campers, the parents of the campers, the staff of the camp, the alumni, the boards, the chapter heads, like you name it. It was very, very complicated. And they came to us because they really wanted to know how to offer access to a portal to each type of user that they have and to offer value there. So they did a workshop with us. It was really, really enlightening for them. We created a roadmap to build in stages, and then we did our development. We meet with our clients every week or more as needed. We follow you every step of the way. We can workshop everything with you to make sure your user experience is optimized and optimized for member engagement. So here we have Laura Kersey, the executive director. She said, Grype helped us realize we could do less while offering better value, a huge savings in time and money. We helped them automate a lot, streamline a lot, brand a lot, upgrade a lot. So it was a really positive experience. Now here, in terms of what to have on your portal, let's get into it. We sort of divide up what you want on your portal into sort of 3 sections. We'll go through each of them here individually. So we have the operational level. This is sort of giving your members the keys to the car. You want to give them as much independence as possible. We'll go through some examples next. Then we have the growth phase. This is sort of your professional development area. This is where you want to become the place they can go because they have the internet, right? There are tons of resources outlined and other people are offering professional development, but you want to have an area here where your members connect and grow and feel satisfied. And then you have here what we call sort of the self-actualization or the agency area where they're really feeling like a leader, they're feeling engaged, they're feeling like they can give back. And we're going to go through these in more detail together. On the first level, we have the operational. These are your must-haves so that you're not bogged down doing these sort of admin tasks for your members. They should be able to do all of this on their own on the portal. They should be able to view their membership information and renewal information. They should be able to update their profiles, update their finances, renew their membership. They should be able to update their certification if they have a new publication, a new book, a new build, a new partner, anything. They should be able to, whatever is specific to your members, they should be able to brag about whatever accomplishments they have there. And ideally that should be searchable so that they can find each other and connect with like-minded people. They should be able to view credits or join things as needed, subscribe to newsletters or anything else that you offer, events, all this sort of stuff should be there. Now, next, in your growth tier, you want to have training, webinars, podcasts, publications, literature. You want to have SOPs, templates. If your association is creating them, that's great. Even better is if you can get your members to create them and share and have an environment where they can share what they've learned and connect and you don't want to have a spirit of competition. You want to have a spirit of collaboration, and you want to be involved there. You want to have a presence, have a team member who's sort of moderating this and encouraging this, so that it doesn't become like a neglected field with it's overgrown, that it's really maintained and beautiful and a beautiful place to be. And you can have professional opportunities and personal ones, whether you have a yoga class, mindfulness, preventing burnout on a personal level, and then professionally, obviously you offer those sort of things. Now, in terms of the self-actualization sphere at the top level, you want to have members that feel proud to be a member, that feel connected to the association, that they're your advocates. They're your voice. They're not just paying their dues because they have to, because they want to be part of an accrediting body or something like that, but because they're ready to grab the hand of someone else and say, come and join. This is the place to be. You're going to be really proud and impressed by the benefits that you offer. So here you want your members to come to a place where they contribute greater value to your association, and they sort of become volunteers, and they're adding value that doesn't cost you any more. So you can have volunteer programs. You want them to participate in the community. You can have committees that either you create and invite them, like they sort of join, or they can create their own committees. The more agency and autonomy you can give them, the less patronizing you can be, the more they will rise to the opportunity. And all those extra hands will create extra member benefits that add to the value of your membership without costing you a dime more. It's really a pretty powerful place to be. Has anybody reached this level with their portal? I want to hear about it. Anybody have super engaged members on their portal who can just create committees, create opportunities, create events? Are you sort of giving your members that independence? Anybody there yet? No comments? Okay, we'll get there. We'll help you get there. Now, here's an example of sort of a free benefit that you can offer your membership that doesn't cost you anything, that adds a lot of value. So our CEO of our company, Farhad Khan, you're going to hear from him. He's super hands-on. He loves connecting with our people who attend our webinar. You'll hear from him next. But he is a member of the Association of Technology CEOs. And when he joined that, he was so pleasantly surprised because right away he was prompted to connect with an accountability partner where you're paired with another new member, and we meet weekly, bi-weekly, like whatever works for your schedule, but you sort of together commit, and you can create an agenda for these meetings or a template or a structure for them to sort of like get started. After that, they sort of like can take the ball and run with it. But you sort of help them create goals that they can verbalize with each other, and then circle back to each other to sort of like bounce ideas off each other, or puff up their chests and show what they've done and inspire each other. For the CEO space, they sort of like this, they have a drive for this. They like, I don't want to say show off, but sort of like be proud of what they accomplished. So this is a really smart benefit for this audience, and maybe it could be work in some capacity for your audience as well. I'd love to hear your ideas if this would work for you. Now over here, I want you to have a look at this. You can mention on the chat or just reflect or take a note for yourself. Are your members able to engage on all three of these levels? Are your members able to renew on their own, to give donations on their own, register on their own, volunteer on their own? Are they able to change their password on their own? Or are you receiving emails and having to do these things for them? No, we don't want to hear about that. We want to have FAQs on your site. And better than FAQs, we want the user journey to be so clear to your audience that it's just very clear what to do. We actually have a regular ongoing onboarding, user journey. We have onboarding as well, webinars that we offer. You're all welcome to join them. People love them. They learn a lot about how to create sort of a user journey for their members where they feel like their hands are held, where they can know what to expect next, feel taken care of, feel like they're in good hands. That's really part of the process. Anything in chat, Nikki? Anything coming in?
There's a question here from the Boston Center for Latin America. How does these levels, operational growth, self-actualization, look like in the members portal?
I'm so glad you asked.
Yeah.
Sorry, please, I cut you off. Continue.
That's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so let's, should we can jump into the, I'll jump into the talk portal right now just to show you what that looks like. Okay, so on the operational level, let's talk. Here's the My Membership area that we set up for them. It's very, very clear. It's front and center. We want them to see where this is. And we have that little avatar here so they know it's something personal. So and this can look different for you. This is what we set up for the client. Now, keep in mind that the data you see is dummy data. Our client, the Writers Union of Canada, is currently testing this actively as we speak. And every hour that I check in with the next webinar, there's different content. When any surprises are here, it'll be a surprise to both of us. But here you want to have information, their current status, anything that they are owed, anything that they've given extra, their expiry date, They have a button here where they can renew their membership. This will take them to a web form where they can pay, where they can select. Here at the Writers Union, here, we'll just click here, for example. They have different membership types: seniors, Indigenous, COVID relief, all kinds of ways that they can help their members. If I go back, pardon me, to that my membership, they can view their payments of their donations, of their membership. They can print those. Going down here, this is their account information. So all their personal information, and they can edit that. Okay, so they just go right in here and they can change all those fields, their birth, their address if they move, and any information here. I'm actually logged in as an admin, so there's other fields that are not, that they wouldn't see or that they would see differently. But the idea here is if they want to receive the magazine by mail, or if they don't want to receive it, this will be customized for you depending on what you're offering them. Okay, I'm going to leave here. The other thing you would have here is here on their public profile. So this is a great way that they can show who they are to their member. This was different this morning. I'm having a great time seeing the changes. Here they have the option of showing a picture. They can have their information here, their bio, address. Now, this was deleted, but there are many, many fields in here that you can add, okay? So here, links, if they have a website, if they have a book that they're publishing, if they have services that they do, email, of course. Here, you would change this to, you know, accomplishments. Here for the Writers Union, it's publications. You can add here, add new awards they've received or things that they're proud of professionally, add new, the field that they work in, the languages they work in, if they identify any certain way. For the Writers Union of Canada, that's very important for them. They want them to be able to connect with people of similar backgrounds. You may choose not to have this at all. Are you available for public appearances? You know, different, anything you want, any way that you want them to engage, you can have here, and then they can save their any changes to their profile. So if you'd like a more detail, I can show you actually how these change in real time. Now, as for growth, thank you for asking. We have here member resources. Now, might look a little clunky because they're testing, but here they have, for example, they can post member announcements. When they post here, it appears on their public website. I'll show you where that is right now. If they post an announcement, it'll appear here, member announcements. So they can, if they have a new publication or an event, they can know that it'll appear on the site under their news and events, member announcements. They can go there. So if I go back to this portal, webinar recordings, you want to have a database of previous content you've created. They can go there and browse that. They can search that by keywords. That's very important. Writers how-to series, they have a list of publications that they sell to the public or is available for free for members. So this is another added bonus. And these are sort of like hand-holding tools for how to get published, how to get your books, the taxes, chapters. I mean, you get the idea because they're writers, but you would see this through your own lens. Here they have a directory of Canadian publishers. You could set this up anyway, but this is a directory feature where they could then search alphabetically by category, by genre. They can then connect with publishers that they're looking for. Again, this would be, if we could use an example, if anybody wants to, you know, walk through this as their own, we can go through this. And then here you have the events that they could register for. Now, in terms of self-actualization, that is not present here by choice of TWUC. The TWUC is the Writers Union of Canada. They had one where it was a forum. They could talk, they could engage, they could connect, they could share resources. They said that their community, the writers, are very, very vocal and very, very opinionated. And this sort of became a bone of contention for members. So they wanted to shut that down. In a next phase of development, they can sort of reconsider how they could create that in a way that they have, they're sort of like their hands on the reins there and they can control it more. But they found it was just getting way too hot and heavy over there, way too spicy, so they shut it down. So that's not present on this portal, but it could very well be present on yours ideally. Does that answer your question? Sorry, who asked the question? Do you mind telling me, Nikki?
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah, that helped your question, answer your question? Okay, perfect. Any other questions, Nikki?
Not right now, Rania.
Not right now? Okay, great. Let's jump back into our, thank you for your question very much. I really enjoyed, hopefully everyone enjoyed seeing that demo. Let's jump back into our presentation. It's a very, very good question. Okay, now moving on here. Yeah, I was asking if anybody wants to share in the chat. In your opinion, do you feel you're able to engage your members in all three levels here to, at the operational level, offset your tasks that you're doing managing their accounts? At the growth level, in terms of offering your member benefits, offering your benefits that they can engage and see the value of your membership in a very clear way. It's right front and center, just like in that TWUC portal. They can see resources front and center. It's on the homepage and in the navigation, and they're not overwhelmed by other content. And in that self-actualization area where they can connect with each other and they can feel fulfilled, they can feel like leaders, and they can rise. They can really feel like a proud member. Anybody want to share? Okay, now we're gonna talk tech now. We're gonna hold your hand. We're gonna fly through this in a couple of minutes. We are a tech company. We do want to talk to you about our recommendations. We have more detailed information about this on our website, about what we sort of recommend. We work mostly with Drupal. We also work with WordPress. We have some of our biggest clients. We work with the Hill Times newspaper here in Ottawa. That's the political newspaper. It gets 80,000 plus hits a day. It's a huge entity to manage a website, and we do that in WordPress. But for most of our associates, we recommend Drupal. We can talk about the benefits of both. There's more information on our website, but Drupal generally is very safe, and it hardly ever breaks. Our WordPress clients, we are very often putting out fires because of they have thousands and thousands of plugins, thousands and thousands of third-party ways that you can customize and like have a lot of fun and flexibility with WordPress. But all of those plugins and like easy customizations come with sort of like the opportunity for weak links. That if there's a change in one of the plugins, it'll break on the site. And also because of all that linkage, there's more opportunity for hacking and breaking of the code. So it depends on what you need, but for sort of like I don't want to use the word static, it's sort of a bad word, but sort of for a evergreen entity, like a member portal where your content, you want it just to be there and be available at all times and not to break at all. We really recommend Drupal. Now, the CRM that we recommend, that we work closely with, is City CRM. There's like hundreds out there, Memby and Member 365. Like there's Sumac, Salesforce. Someone asked about Salesforce and the questions that they submitted before. There's so many. We really recommend City CRM. In our experience, it is just like the Cadillac, endless customization, endless details, super great ways that you can sort your data, save reports, and with that, to make educated decisions and to make smart financial decisions, you really want everything to be based on clear data. And without that clear data, you're basically guessing, and we don't recommend that. So we really recommend working with the CRM. Now, we can do custom design. We also have, in a beta stage version now, a template solution. It's really modeled after what we created for TWUC. It's really you can customize it as much as you want, but it's really more of an out-of-the-box solution. If you go custom, we're building from the ground up. You're looking at 2 to 4 months build, depending on how sophisticated you want it. And we meet with you weekly. It is a time commitment from your team. You're willing to designate someone to not just attend the meetings, because it's not just work at our end. We need work at your end too, to really partner with us. There will be several hours a week of homework that has to be done. If you don't have time for that, if you're a really small staff, a template solution is really a good, not any template. Our template we recommend was really built with associations in mind and these 3 levels of engagement in mind. So this way you can sort of like add your customization and get moving really quickly. Any questions on the tech? Now, we really want this not just to be a memory and not just an event that you attended and moved on for and you're busy executing and go. We really want to help you take the time to stop and absorb what we learned here today. We offer to people who attended this webinar, we really want to support the good work of associations. We'll share a link in the chat to book a 50-minute meeting just to see if this is a good fit for you. We offer a 1-hour custom action plan. We meet with you, we go through your portal. If you don't have a portal yet, we go through your site and we have sort of here a little screenshot of sort of what these questions will look like. But we go through in detail each of those operational levels to see how easy or hard it is to do things on the site. And is it an overwhelming experience for users? Is it an easy experience? Is it an inviting experience? And we can really help you find where the clunkiness or where the gaps are. So if anybody would like to book that, please say me in the chat. We'd love to follow up with you. And this is Nikki, what's that, Nikki?
Sorry, yes, the link is in the chat. And also we have a question, is CVCRM available in different languages?
Yes,
especially
that
Spanish.
is a fantastic question. Thank you for asking. CVCRM is absolutely available in other languages. Yeah. And so is Drupal. Drupal is natively multilingual. WordPress is not natively multilingual. So especially if you're working with a multilingual team, it's great to have Drupal because then they can interact with the site in their native language and not worry about anything being translated. Yeah, so that's a really good feature. If you'd love to meet, we would love to meet with you to discuss more. You could welcome to book a call and we'll discuss it more with you. So yeah, any takeaway thoughts? I'd love to hear from you before we're going to go into your questions. We can go through some of the ones that were submitted beforehand. I want to ask everyone if you have any thoughts on how, if you've had any takeaway, if you have any gold nuggets from today that you can take and run with today, that you feel you could make some changes to your site and that'll help engagement, and that engagement will hold on to your, keep retention, and that'll help your association grow. Anybody want to come on mic and share? I'd love to hear from you. No? Anyway, we'd love to keep in touch. We're going to follow up with you on LinkedIn. We offer learning events on the regular, like probably weekly. We have fantastic podcast guests. Our next one coming up is on SEO for associations. We have one about member communication. We have one coming up about really highlighting the value of your membership, so that people are not thinking about the price of your membership. We have we talk about onboarding. We have a webinar coming up on onboarding, one coming up on user journeys. We'd love to stay in touch with you and support your work, and stick along for the ride and watch you guys grow. So we really welcome you to keep in touch with us. And yeah,
Rania, I just want to share our website is grype.ca/events. Check out all our events. We have a full list.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Thanks for sharing that. Anyway, I'm going to jump over. If anybody would like to share, I'll go through who's still here. Actually, a lot of us are here. We can talk about your questions. Let me see. Did anybody submit a question in advance that they feel was not addressed that you'd like me to address? I'd love to hear from you. So let's see who's here and who submitted a question. We have a question from, we have here, is B Kanga here? Is that BC?
No, Rania.
No, okay.
I don't think she's here. We have Claire, we have Anna, we have Georgina, Melissa, Peony.
1 second here. I have, let me have a look here, pardon me. Anybody wants to share, I'd be happy to jump to your question first. Sorry, my spread. Sorry, you said Georgina's here. Any recommendation on how to establish the different tiers for a membership?
Yeah, she also asked your the question.
Yeah, sure. So it's great questions coming in from Georgina. Do you want to explain your question a little bit more? What do you mean by different tiers?
Sorry, I think there's two of us because I wasn't the one who asked.
Yeah, Georgina Rangel. Yes, I see that here.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask a little more information, but I can sort of answer the question on one foot here. And the question was, any recommendations on how to establish the different tiers for a membership? So I don't know if you're referring to prices or different types of members. I guess you can go both ways, whether you want to talk membership or price. Obviously, you'd want to look at who is the avatar for that membership, what type of member is that person, what value can you offer them, and what price tag would you put on that value. Now, ideally, and we'll talk about that in an upcoming event, if your value is there, people are not going to be bogged down on the price. If people are looking at the price, it means your value is not highlighted. And that's probably why you're here, because you want to highlight your member benefits in a portal and sort of give them that agency and independence. Who else is here? I have a question from Rebecca. Is Rebecca here? How to apply a membership program for an NGO? Is she here? Yeah,
She's
so this
not
is,
here.
well, I mean, I'll answer on one
Yeah,
point. Yeah, the question here is, you know, a lot of NGOs get funding. So the question here is there funding for that? Are you able to offer a membership model? What can you put a price tag on? These are all sort of things. You're all welcome to book a call and we can talk in more detail. Who's here that asked the question? How do I change my view here? Let's see here, who's here? Let's see the questions here. Someone asked the question, Valeria, is she still here? How to engage members to renew their membership yearly. So I was going to ask this person to tell us in more detail what you have in mind. Do you mean in terms of automating that process? Because a portal can definitely do that for you, absolutely, depending on if your dates are like, you know, January to December, or if the year starts in, you know, a fiscal year, whenever it is, or if it starts exactly when that member joined, you can automate that. Or I don't know if the question was what's to inspire them to renew. That always comes down to value. If your members are using your benefits, they will renew. They'll see value there. So the key here is connecting them to their benefits. We really talk a lot about that with our clients. Anyway, for whoever's remaining, I'd love to see you come on mic, to come on camera. I'd love to answer your questions. Nikki, you have a question?
Yeah, there is a question. Could you
Sure.
share estimated costs of having a member portal?
Yes. So this is a good question. A customized member portal is a very involved product. It's very detailed. There are a lot of features, and depending on how many members are on it will depend on the traffic will affect, you know, if anything breaks, and how many questions there are. So, and how many features there are and how detailed they are. Our ballpark estimate for a custom template would run anywhere from, I don't want to scare you, maybe 20 to 40,000. That's why we really recommend building in stages to break up that chunk of money, that cost. But we offer a template solution, like similar to the one I showed you with TWUP. We offer a template that we license it monthly, and it's completely yours. Like, it's not that if you decide to leave us, we keep it from you. It's yours to keep forever if you decide to stop using with us. There's an initial fee to sort of customize it and brand it for your branding and messaging, to put all your keywords and your look in there, and to do a data transfer of all your data into there, so that it, you know, it has your members' information and their profile information and your events and all that stuff. I mean, you can do that on your own, also populated. It just will take more time. And then from there, there's depending on how big your membership is, will determine the sort of monthly licensing cost. And then if you decide you don't want to work with us anymore, which, you know, hopefully you won't, hopefully you'll love us and we'll love you. But if it's not a good fit for whatever reason, we hand you the keys and that baby is yours. And the maintenance will just be added there. But the template solution is a really, really good option for people who want to get off the ground quickly and don't have time for a build. But a portal is a big project. I mean, websites in general, you know, cost, you know, like a decent website will cost $15,000. I mean, there are people who will quote you less, but there are often hiccups along the way, or hidden costs, or actually that wasn't included along the way. We really, really, really work with our clients upfront. We don't take on any project. We do not bid on any request for proposal. We don't guess numbers. We only work with clients who do a 3-part or 4-part workshop with us, where we talk in detail what your goals are, what you offer, what your features are, what do you need for the new site, what do you want to let go of, what do you want to add, so that we can really come up with a specific number for you, what the cost of the build will be, and we will not go over that. We will not change our mind. We will not say, actually, we didn't realize, actually, we're over time. We really, the legwork in advance with the strategy first approach really creates a very clear financial picture. So I hope that answers your question a little bit. If you want to talk specifically about what it would cost for you, please book a call with us. We'd love to give you a more specific number. That work? I think you're muted, Nikki. Anything else from anybody else? For anyone
they're saying thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Anyway, we'd love to hear from you. Hope you had a good time. I hope you learned something today. We'd love to stay in touch. Anybody who asked a question, if you're shy to come on camera, no problem. Book a call with us. We'd be happy to give you a little bit of advice to address your question. And yeah, it was lovely being with you all. Yeah, I don't see your names here, but it was lovely being with you. And we're going to follow up with you on LinkedIn. Hopefully see you at the next event. Bye, everybody. Lovely to meet you.